been really impressed by the Galaxy Note 9 so far. My favorite Android phone is the Google Pixel 2, but I've been really impressed with it for a couple different reasons. I think it's a really powerful phone. If this was your only device, you didn't have a laptop, you didn't have a tablet, you just had this, you would be totally fine.
I mean, the combination of the large screen and the stylus as well, it just lets me feel more comfortable doing things on the phone that I would normally save for a computer or a laptop. So talking about the screen, this is a Samsung screen, which means it's the best in the business.
I never really understood the need to have a huge OLED display. I was like, mine's fine, I don't need it. Until I started to use this, and I was like, wow, this screen is amazing. Watching videos on this thing is unreal. I didn't really mind the top and bottom bezel. I thought that was fine. I was glad that Samsung did not include a notch on this phone.
In terms of the size of the phone, it's a big phone, obviously. It's not for everyone, right? But yeah, it's not a one-handed phone.
But I thought that it was relatively easy to use. It's not unmanageable for people with smaller hands, I think.
I'm actually, on the Note 9 and its massive screen, I'm actually using the Android multitasking thing, and I was like, wow, I'm watching a YouTube video while talking to people, and I was like, wow, this is working, and I got the S Pen, and it's like, wow, this works really well. It's doing two things at once. I'm doing two things at once.
Do you find yourself using the Bixby button, and do you find yourself using Bixby at all?
I find myself accidentally pressing the Bixby button while I'm watching a YouTube video and being frustrated that the Bixby button is there. What
about the camera?
Yeah, I tried it against the Google Pixel 2, and I was really impressed. I think this phone actually competes with the Pixel 2. It's actually the closest competitor to the Pixel 2's camera.
Two of the really standout features of this camera, in my opinion, are the zoom, which I was really impressed by. It's really nice to have when you do need it, and this is the best zoom that I've seen on a recent smartphone. The other thing that I think is really cool is the dual aperture. And I noticed that when you were taking photos in low light that it blew away the competition.
Yeah, right?
Kind of the initial thought that I had about this phone was it could suit two types of people really well. One of them is, a person who has a really crazy job, is kind of on the road a lot, needs a lot of a really powerful phone, needs a lot of battery life, a lot of storage space. But it would also be really good for someone who wants this to be their whole world. Samsung updated the stylus a little bit this year, and it can now act as a remote. So there's a button on the stylus, you can press it, and it will take a photo from a distance. It can put you through a PowerPoint presentation, and I think that's really cool.
I think it's cool. I don't know how many people will use it. I don't think it's oh my god, buy this phone because of this feature kind of thing,
What about the storage?
The base model comes with, I think it's 128 gigabytes, and then it can go up to 512 gigabytes inside this phone, which is more than my MacBook Pro has. And then if you want, you could add another 512 gigabytes of storage through the micro SD slot.
That's a total of a terabyte of storage.
That's 1 terabyte of storage. That's more than most computers come with.
So one of the really cool features of the Galaxy Note 9 is this thing that Samsung calls DeX, which allows you to use the phone as a computer, basically.
DeX does look pretty cool. Samsung presented this little dongle that you connect into the phone's USB-C plug, and then you can connect it to HDMI to a monitor, and you basically have desktop operating system. It kind of looks like Windows, maybe a little bit. I haven't tried it yet. I think it could be cool. As you'd expect, it's a high-end Android phone. It comes with USB-C. It also comes with a fast charger too. Headphone jack. Headphone jack, please. It does have some bloatware. But honestly, it's really not that bad. The one thing it came with, which I don't like at all, is the Facebook app. And I can't delete it from this phone. I guess one thing I'm not a fan of is the price tag, $1,000. I still think 4-figure price tags for a smartphone is a little much. But I think it makes a lot more sense on the Galaxy Note 9 than it does for the iPhone X. It has more functionality, you can do more on it and more with it.
Right. I think spending $1,000 on this is much more justified. I think that it makes me feel much more productive. I think I can get a lot more done at once. If I was ready to switch away from an iPhone, I would strongly consider this. Before Pixel was the only other option that I would consider. Now this is in the running. I would give it a chance.
Great phone, fully recommended, would buy if I had more money.